take that a little bit further. Any type of contraction interferes. Spread that out so I can understand, because I contract a lot. You know.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Babies.
Yeah. Any tightness will interfere with the flow of energy. That's why we meditate, and relax, because then it flows freely.
Yoga. So doing yoga and
Mm-hmm.
holding postures, or, looking up at nature and opening our hands.
Yeah.
So that puts you more in flow of energy. And then if I'm like, I really want you to, like, I'm constricting the energy. And what does that do?
Well, it just interferes. It just stops it reduces the flow.
What about on like a cellular level? What do you think is happening there? Because we're talking pretty macro. What about like micro, like inside in constriction?
Well, then you have possibly some disease if it's long enough, if the constriction is over time.
So over time, constriction creates the word, they break it down, dis-ease.
Dis-ease, right.
Dis-ease. Hi there. If you're within the sound of my voice, you are watching or listening to the Sterling Spin podcast. I'm so grateful that you're here and excited to bring you new information for your well-being, insights, inspiration, and transformation here on the Sterling Spin podcast. I am Liz Sterling. And every week, a new episode. And today, joining me in the studio is a friend for many years, and her name is Lera Chacon. Picked her up from the airport. I hijacked her, and I brought her straight into the studio. And I know that Lera has a story for you that may help answer some questions that you have. Those little questions like, who am I? And what am I doing here? And what's this life all about? Well, Lera is a woman whose life reads like a map of the soul's journey. She brings over 8 decades of experience, insight, and deep inquiry into the human condition. With a background in journalism, psychology, energy medicine, and transformational leadership, she's studied with masters. She has walked many paths and integrated wisdom from both science and spirit. And whether through Reiki, hypnotherapy, indigenous teachings, or internal family systems, she's dedicated herself to understanding the inner workings of consciousness and guiding others toward self-mastery. Today, we will explore what drives us to seek, to understand, what drives us to evolve, and how her own journey continues to unfold even now and today. Welcome, Lera.
Thank you, Liz. I'm happy to be here.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Let's identify the feeling that you're feeling right this moment. We could just dive right in and start there.
I feel happy and I feel intrigued and just it's lovely.
Why are feelings important? Why is it important to be able to identify feelings? Because that's something that I learned from you. I'm like a lot in my head, and you're not. Liz, bring it down. Feel what you're feeling. Why?
Well, because if we're not feeling what we're feeling, then we're in kind of a no man's land as far as knowing ourselves, because you can't know yourself from your mind.
What does the mind do generally?
The mind tries to figure it out.
That's what minds do.
Yeah.
So what am I to my mind and my feelings? Like, isn't it all part of the same thing?
What am I to my, well, there's different eyes.
Okay.
So I think there is more like a central eye. Of course, there's the spiritual eye where we're all joined. And then there's the more of a central I, where it's really like Liz, but she's connected to a higher consciousness. And then there are smaller I's that, we usually call them ego, or, different parts or whatever.
Like the I want what I want when I want it.
Right.
That would be the one. Then is maybe the next step is I feel part of something bigger than myself. And when I'm in nature, I feel more grand and more connected.
Yeah.
That would be level 2.
Right.
And then there would be another one of which we all came from, maybe like my teachers say, the same bolt of cloth. Mm-hmm. And we're really merely a thread that makes up the tapestry of life.
Right.
So you remind me of, I have had many teachers, so have you. Mm-hmm. When I met you because I had founded a wellness and healing center. And I was producing classes to help people to enrich their lives. It was the time of the burgeoning of the human potential movement and personal development. And you started showing up in every class. You were like there. And one day I was like, okay, what's going on here? And you identified yourself as a seeker. Mm-hmm. How did it happen? How did it start for you?
That's a good question. It's like the way I met you was because of your radio show, and I just loved everything you brought in, all the topics and everything. And at the same time, I was going through some change because I had a business, and I was selling the business, so I had time. And I just followed my interest, and you happened to be doing very interesting things.
That's what interviews, the radio show, was all about.
Yeah.
It really was. Every day, someone new was in my studio, and I was interviewing them. And the name of the show, Interviews, meant everybody had an interview.
Right.
And all I wanted to do was find out what it was that made them tick. So what makes you tick? And is the answer going to be different today than it was a year ago, 3 years ago, 5, 10, 20?
It changes. I think there's a central focus, but it does change over time. I've definitely changed lots of interest, from the time I first met you. So it's just, and I don't think I do it. I think that's part of the higher conscious influence.
So you don't do it. Like, I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. Recently, I got an email invitation for a storytelling class that was related to ancestors. Mm-hmm. And someone who's a storyteller is coming into town, and she's doing like a full-day workshop. Before I even looked at it, before I even read it, the whole thing, I registered. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is going on here? Something else took charge.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's what you're doing. And I don't think that it mattered what the wording was, what the content was. I think something spoke to me. So is that how you describe that? What interests you? Is it something that talks to you?
Yeah,
to an insight?
like you say, there's an energy with it. And it's an energy that, like, I want to know more about that. I'm interested. And it propels itself. It's not something I have to put that much interest, focus. I don't have to build the energy for it. It's there, and it does its thing.
So you didn't set out a path, like, I'm going to learn about the human condition. I'm going to find out why I'm here. I'm going to understand what feelings are and how they're different from thoughts. No, you're like, didn't happen that way.
Nope.
Okay, so you started listening to me on the radio, and then what happened?
Well, I started going to some of your classes. The people who were coming into town to be interviewed, they would hold classes. So I started going to those. And again, just more. I just wanted to know more about this because I was kind of naive at that moment in terms of spirituality. It was definitely a breakthrough for me because I had ignored the whole field of spirituality until then. And all of this was like, oh, a whole new field, something I don't know anything about, and I'm interested. So
ignoring spirituality and then, oh, it's a whole new field. Give us a peek into what you experience the field of spirituality as.
It was more like something outside myself. Until then, I'd been very career-oriented, business-oriented, and just thought that was what was going to make me happy. And it wasn't. So I think that's part of why this other looked so exciting to me. It was like, okay, this is not the old spirituality, or this is not the old religion that I had been brought up in. It was totally different. And it was just, very enticing.
So let's see the two side by side. The old religion, what you had been brought up with was what? Can you label it or identify it?
You mean the
type of upbringing that you had?
Just a regular run-of-the-mill church preacher.
Okay, it was Christian
right,
upbringing.
Right.
And what you learned in the church, how did it differ from what you found out when you peeked into this world of spirituality?
Well,
what did you find?
I went into as a teenager, I really went into the regular religion thing, and I really was solidly in there. And then I got disillusioned, and I turned away totally for 30 years. Just like, oh no, I don't think so. Because what I came to the conclusion was that that maybe God didn't make us in His image. Maybe we made God in our image.
Oh, I bet you're right about that. We have to. That's the only way it could really happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be both.
Yeah, and so that's why we get a vengeful God, and all of these things that didn't appeal to me. And this wasn't where my heart was.
Yeah.
So I just said, I don't need that. And I went into the secular and just humanistic, maybe. Still caring, but not attending.
Caring, but not attending.
Not attending to the church.
Not attending or participating in that. Not vested in it.
Right.
Not incorporating it into your life.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, boom, you have time. You start listening. You're intrigued by people who are on the radio show that you're meeting in their events. Do you remember having a thought or some day or something happened and it was like, wow, something. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but was there ever a moment, an epiphany or a light bulb went off and it was like, oh.
Well, I realized right at the beginning that this God was different from the one I'd heard about. It was based on love and based on caring. Of course, the others are too. I'm not saying that. It's just that I did not know anything about the Eastern religions at all, or religion, spirituality, whatever. And I guess it spoke to me more than anything I had done before.
So all of a sudden, a vengeful God could become a God that I could love and be loved by.
Right.
Is the way it's sounding
exactly.
for you. So that was like, ooh, very intriguing and very interesting. And I want to know more about that because that's when you can get a feel-good feeling. And it's also dynamic. Like you can receive it and then you can be giving into it as well. I mean, giving into it, like studying it, learning it, exploring it. So where did you go? Because I listed a few things that you did before. Reiki, hypnotherapy, you worked with energy medicine teachers. Do you recall what the journey was in terms of the steps?
No, well, the first one was Reiki.
Tell the audience, like, what's Reiki?
It's a hands-on healing method. And I actually got interested in that because of this Dr. Gregory from your center. He had an energy class, and I went to it, and I thought this is weird. I don't really think I like this, and yet it just kind of grew on me because I'll take another class,
Wow. So you had like an inner voice that was being the critic or the judge, and it was like, I don't know, this is too weird, but I want to know more.
Right. That's what cute. I mean about not doing the planning.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So something inside you woke up and it's like more of this. So those were energy medicine classes.
Right.
And it was based a lot on the energy that James Redfield talked about in the Celestine Prophecy. I remember the first time that he described the way that energy is teeming in the world, and it's already happening. It's like protozoa that's flying all over the place, but we can't see it unless you stop and pause and take it real slow and set the environment. So, and then he did this thing where he would ask you to take your two fingers and put it like this, especially if you're outside, and you just look in between the space and you look and you can actually see energy working in the world. And that was the first time that I had like a real wake up and, oh my God, there's more than I can see. I had no idea there was a realm, like an energy that comes from working with Reiki, that you can't see it, but you can soft see it, or you can sense feel it. So I'm thinking of one of your teachers, John Milton from Creststone, who does that sacred passage. He is a Qigong or Tai Chi. What does he do? Qigong, Tai Chi, a little?
I think it's Qigong.
Qigong. And I remember being with him and him asking us to take our hands and put our hands in like a little ball and hold your hands like this. You could start to like feel energy moving in the hands, and you can move the ball around. I mean, it's actually happening for me right now.
Right.
Is that how you work with Reiki energy and move it?
Sure.
Is there intention, like you're thinking about something?
There is a little bit of intention depending on what the person wants to accomplish, what their idea is and their intention. But once I get started, I really just get out of the way because it's not my energy. It's, it's consciousness's energy. And so it's if I'm thinking it's mine, then I'm interfering with it. So I just get out of the way and let it go, let it flow.
Hold on. I'm getting a feeling or an image of like a stream of energy.
Right.
And you're saying if I step into the stream of energy and use it for directing purposes for healing someone, and I'm like, I want them to get better, I want this to be fast, then you're in the way. You like block the energy from the pure stream of energy that you're attuned to.
Yeah. And yeah, it's okay to have an intention that people get well, that they get better. But when you start thinking that anything like, I'm doing this, or I really this person, I love this person and I want them to get well, then you've got this kind of an interfering,
Interference.
Any kind of contraction interferes.
Take that a little bit further. Any type of contraction interferes. Spread that out so we can understand, because I contract a lot. You know.
That's what I mean.
Babies?
Yeah. Any tightness will interfere with the flow of energy. That's why we meditate and relax, because then it flows freely.
Yoga. So doing yoga and holding postures, or looking up at nature and opening our hands.
Yeah.
So that puts you more in flow of energy. And then if I'm like, I really want you to, like I'm constricting the energy. And what does that do?
Well, it just interferes. It just stops it reduces the flow.
What about on like a cellular level? What do you think is happening there? Because we're talking pretty macro. What about like micro, like inside in constriction?
Well, then you have possibly some disease if it's long enough, if the constriction is over time.
So over time, constriction creates the word, they break it down, dis-ease.
Dis-ease, right.
Dis-ease. So you've been learning a lot about the body, about the mind, about the spirit. You've done Reiki. You've done something that you're doing now, and I'm very interested in it, is called family systems.
Internal family system.
Internal family systems. So before we go to the internal family systems, what have you noticed about the human condition that would bring us to want to have greater understanding?
I think it's built in. The whole universe is in a expansion, and we are part of the universe, and we have a need or a desire to grow, to expand, I think part of it, getting down to a different level, is pain or pleasure. If we're in pain, we want to move it to pleasure, and so that's a big incentive for all kinds of changes and everything, where we're really just growing in an effort. Well, taking myself personally, I was not happy with what I was doing, so I wanted more, and that's the idea of I'm looking for, and I call it pleasure, but it's not. Wasn't looking for pleasure. I was looking for wholeness. Really, I didn't know what to call it, but I was looking for wholeness, and that I could feel be in my body. Another important component, be in my body and feel whole.
Wow, did you hear what came out of me when you said that? I was like, It's like one of those, yes.
Yeah.
What a great feeling to be whole. We're speaking with Lera Chacon, and you are listening to the Sterling Spin podcast, and I'm Liz Sterling. And we thank you so much for being here. I would love for you to subscribe and then hit the notification bell, and that will give you notification every time that a new episode drops, which is every week on Sundays. So we're here in the studio today. We're having fun. We're grateful that you're with us. And there are some people who have stories that are important and that are worth sharing. So I'd like you to be able to know that I'm looking for stories always, looking for sponsors, because right now we want to support the Sterling Spin podcast and be sure that we continue to bring it to you. You can email me directly at sterlingspin@gmail.com. It's easy, sterlingspin@gmail.com. I thank you so much for being here with us. We'll continue with Lera Chacon and ask her these questions that are more subtle than they are gross. We're entering into a field of energy, and we're also looking at the whole of the universe and of how we're part of it, and of how the questions that we ask ourselves turn each of us potentially into seekers so that we can understand more about our place and our purpose here in life. And I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and she was talking about that this self-searching is that we're seeking for fulfillment. And I feel like I could juxtapose what you just said. The fulfillment goes with that sense of feeling whole. And you talked about being in your body. And that intrigues me because I don't even know what that really means. So let's have you explain a little bit about that, and then your sense of wholeness and how that informs you now to do the work that you're currently doing.
Yeah. Well, to start off, I think pretty much everyone in our culture has some contractions. We mentioned that before. Something happened when we were young, and we felt like we couldn't really stay comfortably in our body. So we jump out, we take a part of ourselves and just put it in the closet, because that's not, we got a bad reaction. That's not good. It's not, so we hide it.
Give me an example.
Okay. If you have a child that's very loud, outgoing, very energetic, and they're just all over the place, with most mothers, they would say, okay, stop being that. Don't do that. That's not good. Behave. So you get all these messages that who you are is not good. And and in order to keep the love of the parent or the caregiver, then I better change. I better hide that loud run around part of myself and get in line. Well, there's the contraction, right? I'm really paying attention to my behavior, and now I won't do those things. And then when those things come up anyway, I get mad at them. Go away. You're getting me into trouble. I don't like you.
So it's like a part that is something you become aware of, and you push it away.
Right.
So that you can continue to focus on the outer world, which are the parents that you need for survival, or the teachers, or relatives, or other people who can help you get the things you want done.
Right. And it's hard. It's very hard. It's done unconsciously. The child doesn't really understand
So
why they're doing it.
you kind of leave
You
your
leave
body.
your body. Yeah.
Right.
Some part of it. Now there are different things for leaving your body. There might be something even more invasive or abusive reasons for leaving the body. A lot of times it's just because the body is being criticized in some way and it's not behaving the way it should behave, and so it brings in the bad news from the parents. So, but we do leave it, and we don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. And that would make me mentally very alert or even hypervigilant. I would take all my cues through my eyes into my head, and I would process and analyze it in some way so I don't get in trouble.
Right.
Except if obviously there are kids who are attention seekers and they do, or adults, are attention seekers and do want to get in trouble. But we're not going to go off there because the internal family systems is something that you seem to have brought yourself to in support of your sense of wholeness.
Right.
So what have you discovered?
Wow, I've discovered lots of parts that I put in the closet, and still discovering them. Suppressed feelings, fear, a lot of fear around, and I think the fear is part of being out of the body, because there's a lot, if you're not in your body and feel comfortable in it, there's a reason to be afraid in a way. I can't control that. I can't do anything.
Right.
So.
You mean like when I called you and said, I'll pick you up at the airport, we're going straight to the studio, I'm putting you in the chair, you'll be behind the mic, and we're going to do an interview.
Right.
Would you tell me what that was like for you?
Well, it wasn't as bad as it used to be.
Okay. Which parts came up?
Oh, well, a little bit of the part that's afraid of speaking up, and that's been with me all my life. That part is better. I've been working with it, so it is getting better. What other part was there? There is a part that likes to show off too. I mean, that's the part that never gets any attention because of the other parts.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
You actually started to glow a little when you said there is a part that likes to get attention. I could actually see you enlivened.
Exactly. I think that was one of my parts my mother didn't like.
The loud or the get attention
right.
or be, and so she was the one who smushed you down a little bit. Right. And didn't want you to be so big because you were probably a nuisance to her.
Yeah.
She had other children to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things to do. So I want to let the listeners and the viewers know how they can get in touch with you, because I know that you've been working with organizations and institutes for feminine leadership. Mm-hmm. And I know that you started a dream group where people bring their dreams together and look and see what in the dream world is informing us that could be useful in the day world, in the everyday world. So you have classes. You also are doing a program with women who I believe were in their 70s, were coming together and supporting each other. For example, you wanted to learn to be comfortable to speak up and to speak out.
Right.
And so a whole group formed. So let everyone know how they can find you and peruse your website and make inquiry. They may want to just say, I've been looking for you for my whole life. I'm so glad I found you here on the Sterling Spin podcast.
Yes, you can reach me through soulcentereddreamwork.com.
That's nice.
And email me also at soulcentereddreamwork@gmail.com.
Nice and easy. Soul Centered Dreamwork. Lera Chacon. After decades of doing all of this work, is there anything that still surprises you?
I guess I'm still surprised that I'm still seeking. It's like I don't really think I'll ever retire from that. It's just part of who I am, and so in a way, but it's kind of surprising too. I'm still excited by it. I'm excited by new things and like anything that catches my eye. You know,
So you're more in your body?
definitely more in my body.
How do you describe that?
Well, I'm actually feeling my feelings and knowing I'm making a connection. And this is through Dreamwork. I'm making a connection between maybe some feeling that comes up and an actual part of me that feels that. And that's through the body. Before, I would have ignored the body and taken something and, drowned it out, do something, do a lot of little techniques that I have to feel better. And now I'm not. I'm just sitting with that part because I know that there's a lot of feeling there that hasn't been expressed.
Let's get a little specific here. Use something that's happened recently, if you will. I know, you may feel a little vulnerable.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for that.
My husband died in December. We were married for 61 years. And
Javier.
I was like, well, it's been great. We've had a great marriage, a great time. But I also realized that I wasn't grieving what I would consider normally grieving. And so I started looking into that, and I discovered a part that is grieving, but that I've disconnected from because of earlier not being allowed to grieve when I was very young. And so, like this part now, I can actually talk to it and be with it.
Does this part, have you named this part of you?
I named her Storm. Because one of the things actually I asked her, and that's what she wanted to be called, but she's always wanted to cry and wasn't allowed to cry. The storm is the rain, the coming of the rain, and also the grieving. The storm is the darkness before the rain, and yeah. So it's very tender.
I just want to understand what I'm hearing you say. So you've identified through the internal family systems and also in conjunction with your dream work
right.
and with understanding yourself in the world and how you've been constricted. And all of these have come together almost like a DNA strand.
Right.
For you to gain access within yourself to a part that you may never have held space for before.
Right.
And then when you have a feeling, instead of running to go do something or follow a technique or do art or drawing or gardening or baking or eating or cooking or anything, no, you'll sit and you'll sit with and then query.
And talk.
Talk.
Dialogue.
And dialogue.
Yeah.
And there's information comes and you trust it.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a question I have to have. How do you trust what you're hearing is really storm and you're not making it up?
Well, I get acquainted with parts through dreams. So, you have a dream, you think of it as a nightmare or whatever, but that is a message from a part that is still back there feeling that.
Wow.
So when I get a dream like that, I want to go find that part, and I want to talk to them and feel them and do this, and it really makes a huge amount of difference.
Wow.
So.
You are definitely my Shiro. Shiro is a female hero, and you are my Shiro. Yeah. SHERO. Lera Chacon. Thank you so much, because all the work that you have done and committed for these decades and decades, you teach others, and as one of your best friends in the whole world, that you came into my life, the moment I met you, I'm like, this is an angel on earth, an angel on earth. I think of you as an angel, a gift, a blessing, and Javier, your husband too, who I miss truly deeply. I want to thank you for continuing the quest, the inquiry, the work. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you pay big prices. Sometimes your body rebels. And yet you persist and you pursue. And I think that's the message, is like, the more we commit to understand ourselves, the greater the healing, the more wholeness, and the more we're part of the healing of the whole of humanity. Because you talked about your being humanistic, and you certainly have made that happen for us today. Thank you so much for your beautiful sharing. soulcentereddreamwork.com, Lera Chacon. You've been listening, and thank you. Until the next time that you are within the sound of my voice and listening to the Sterling Spin podcast, I bless you. I wish you well. I thank you. And I ask you, please subscribe. We love our subscribers. It means the world to us here, our team, as we're working together. Behind the scenes, we're going to start showing behind the scenes photos of what's happening. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in this studio today supporting these efforts to bring this program to you. And once you subscribe, hit the bell for notification, because what that's going to do is give you notice every time a new show drops. That's on Sundays, every Sunday. Look forward to another Sterling Spin. And until then, I'm Liz Sterling. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.